Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the recent announcement that has come in the annual budget of the Government of India, where the budget has focused on creating a Makhana board in the state of Bihar. Now, this decision also is being referred as the Makhana-nomics. So, what is Makhana-nomics? What is Makhana and how Makhana board can help in the economic development of Bihar? Let us try to understand this in more detail. Now, recently, while presenting the budget, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that Makhana board will be set up in Bihar in the near future. Now, Makhana board is something that will be similar on the line of earlier existing boards that we have in India. For example, coffee board in the state of Karnataka. Then, if you have silk board also in the state of Karnataka, then you have Rubber Research Institute, for example, in the state of Kerala. Somewhere on the similar line with a similar kind of objective, a Makhana board is going to be set up in the state of Bihar. Now, the popularity of Makhana has continuously risen in the recent time, not only within India but also outside of India, because it is being portrayed as a superfood. Superfood, especially among the fitness enthusiasts, and also because Makhana carries a lot of health benefit and it is also referred as a healthy snack. So the skyrocketing of the popularity and demand is something that both the government of Bihar and government of India is trying to tap, and that is how they are trying to increase the overall export of Makhana from India. This has prompted the government to focus on both marketing of Makhana in order to commercially harness its popularity, and also while doing so, it will ensure overall employment for many people in the northern Bihar who are involved in the process of both harvesting as well as production. Now, the exact announcement, if we try to look, that has come in the budget, the finance minister has said that a Makhana board will be established to improve what we can refer as production. Production means, as you know, that Makhana is a food that is grown in the northern part of Bihar, and there are many people are involved here. So it's kind of labor intensive process. So production, then processing, because Makhana basically comes from the flour. So you have to pop the flour, and that is when you get the seeds. Then value addition, and then the marketing of the product. The board will provide hand holding and training support to the Makhana farmers, and will also work to ensure that they receive the benefit of all relevant government scheme in this regard. Now, in this context, first of all, if you try to understand what is a Makhana. Now, Makhana, we know that it is being quoted as a superfood. So, in English, Makhana is also popularly referred as a fox nut. Now, it is a kind of dried edible seed of the prickly water lily, also called as Gorgon plant, and the scientific name of this plant is Uriel ferox. If you look at the flower of this plant, you can see here the plant is known for its violet and white kind of flower, as you can see, and also around the entire flower you have a circular thorny kind of bushes. You see thorny pricks, thorns, as you can see, that comes out from the plant. So this is a kind of species, foxnut or Makhana, we can say, is grown in the freshwater ponds across both South as well as the East Asia. And in this context, if you look at in India itself, the state of Bihar contributes roughly 90% of India's Makhana production. Only remaining 10% happens in the other states. If you talk about the overall area of production, so in the northern part of Bihar, Makhana production takes place around 15,000 hectares. That leads to growth of almost 10,000 tons of the popped Makhana. So such a huge potential lies dormant in the Bihar as far as the agricultural export is concerned. Now, apart from this, if you talk about in the Bihar itself, as we discussed, it is the northern Bihar, and northern Bihar also, Makhana production largely is concentrated in around 10 districts, as you can see. Within that, if you talk about the districts of Darbhanga, then you have Saharsa, Purnia and Katihar. These four districts alone produces almost 80% of the annual output of Makhana in the Bihar, and then the remaining 20% is in the other green district, as you can see from here. Now, apart from that, outside of Bihar, you talk about, it is also produced in the northeastern states of India, such as Assam, Manipur. Then in east, you have West Bengal, Tripura, and Odisha. And outside of India, you talk about then Nepal, Bangladesh, China, and then East Asia, you have Japan and Korean Peninsula, most specifically South Korea. These are some of the leading producer of Makhana in the world. But again, you can understand the significance that out of India, the global production of Makhana is, the share of global production of Makhana of these countries is only 10%. Now, importance of Makhana can be understood not only from the economic perspective, but also traditionally it has been a part of Hindu rituals for the centuries, where makhana has been used in the terms of worshipping, in the terms of the ritual, in terms of the religious kathas that is organized in the northern part of India. But in the recent times, it has gained popularity as a superfood because of the rich nutritional properties. For example, if you look at the 100 grams of makhana, it has a high extent of amount of protein, that is about 9.7 gram. Then it is also known for very large number of minerals that you'll find here, such as magnesium, phosphorus. Then you have iron, potassium, plus carbohydrate, almost 77 grams of carbohydrate you can get from here. Plus for bones, it is also good as it has a good content of calcium. Then it is good for the digestive, this we can say health, digestive purposes, because it has a large quantity of fiber as well. If you look at the fat content, it is very minuscule, so it is good for people who are suffering from diabetes or obesity and these kind of problems. So that is why makhana is being portrayed as a healthy snack alternative to the other snack which are having high fat content and all content and all. So global makhana market, we talk about the year 2023, was valued somewhere about at $43.56 million. However, the market is continuously growing with a compounded annual growth rate of about 8.31%. So by the year 2033, it is expected that the demand of makhana will rise to a tune of $100 million, and that is why it is the opportune moment for the state of Bihar, which generally is industrially backward, or one of the most industrially backward state of India, to find its core competencies in the context of agriculture production, and makhana can act as a savior here. Now, significance of the budget announcement we can also understand from the perspective that despite being the largest producer of makhana, Bihar has not been able to harness its growing market. Now, in the beginning, I told you that 90% of makhana production of India comes from the state of Bihar. But Bihar is not the lead exporter of makhana as far as the global market is concerned. Why? Because the lead producers are Punjab and Assam. And interestingly, I told you in Assam some extent of makhana is being produced, but Punjab does not produce any makhana at all, despite it is one of the largest exporters. So why it is so? It is because of the lack of infrastructure in the state of Bihar. There is a lack of any developed food processing industry, lack of export infrastructure. For example, you talk about the airports of Bihar. There is no airport in Bihar where you have a cargo hold, which is very significant and important if you want to export some material outside of the country. So the lack of the infrastructure, agricultural and food processing related infrastructure, that has caused a kind of Bihar being only a seller of raw material for the other state of India. So Bihar sell raw material to the other states, their food processing units, there the value addition is done, and then these states export and take a larger share of the profit, while the people of Bihar are not getting any significant benefit from the makhana. They are selling it at a very cheap prices that is hardly enough to recover even the input cost. So this is something that needed to be changed, and makhana board can play an important role here. In this context, the experts and the bureaucrats who have developed in the agriculture sector Bihar has also noted down that there are several other problems the makhana producer and the state overall has to face. For example, there is no well developed and organized market for the selling of makhana. Largely the selling is done in the unorganized level. That is why the mass scale production, or the unit of scale we can say, is not able to be produced, and also that causes less amount of revenue to be generated for the actual producers of the makhana. Plus the productivity itself is very low. It is also because of the seeds, the flower seeds that the farmers are using here are of poor quality, because again they do not want to increase their cost of input. Third, the entire production process is extremely arduous and labor intensive in nature. And we know that if any process is labor intensive, it will increase the input cost, because every day you have to pay the laborers to work in the farms, and that eats in the overall profit from the revenue that you might be able to generate. So in the context of labor high process, we can understand from the fact that all the entire process of makhana production, right from the sowing of the seeds, the cleaning, then of the sun drying, then of roasting, and finally to popping, you get the edible seeds to produce the form in which they are consumed, it all entirely is manually done, and that is also one significant drawback that you have in the process of makhana production. So if you are able to automate and mechanize it to some extent, we can lower the cost of production, and also we can increase the overall productivity. So this is something that the makhana board might be focusing upon in the coming future. Now, how Makhana board will help? In this context, we can try to understand that overall Makhana board has been given an outlay or budget of rupees 100 crores, and through these 100 crores they are expected to provide training to the farmers and making them export oriented, because if the quality of Makhana produced by same farmer varies a lot, obviously the export will not be to that much extent. So you need to have a similar quality of Makhana and high quality of Makhana that is in demand. Second, it will also help create overall an ecosystem, and because of this, more and more investment can be brought in the food processing sector in the Bihar, and that is one thing that is lacking, which is causing Bihar to sell raw material or raw Makhana to the other state. That is something that we can reduce. And third, it will also help create the required export infrastructure, such as cold chain infrastructure, such as the cargo holds, such as the overall, we can say, facilities that help in the buying and selling of Makhana in an organized market and all. And the state government expects also to create the right ecosystem for the food processing unit through the Makhana board. And here also we have to be very much what you can say, be cautious, because earlier also several attempts has been made to boost the Makhana productivity in export. However, it has not yielded the desired result. For example, in the year 2002, the government of Bihar, with the help of government of India, has created a national research center of Makhana under the Indian Council of Agricultural Research in the state, in the district of Darbhanga. But despite so many years has passed, it has not yielded the desired result. The main reason is because only 10 posts has been filled out of the 42 posts that were sanctioned in the NRCM. Apart from that, also there has never been appointment of a full-time director. Plus, they are also facing a fund crunch and all that. So we have to ensure that same fate does not happens with the Makhana board as well, and that is something we have to be cautious about. Now, not only the decision of creating a Makhana board is important from economic perspective of Bihar, but also this decision is something that has a political significance, both for the central government as well as for the Nitish Kumar, who is the current chief minister of the state of Bihar. So why so? Because you know that Bihar is going to have an assembly election in the near future very soon. So Nitish Kumar in the recent time has faced a lot of criticism, because most of his effort has been limited to the development of infrastructure such as the roadways, bridges and all these kind of things. Overall, however, the industrial production or industrial output of Bihar has remained very, very low. Similarly, we talk about the export from Bihar has been remained very, very low. The agricultural ecosystem is lacking the Bihar, and due to this there is a large scale unemployment among the youth population. So basically, due to the announcement of creation of a Makhana board, the central government and Nitish Kumar both hope that it can paint Nitish Kumar in a good light and can create a positive image of him among the voters. Apart from that, last year Bihar government had asked for an MSP for Makhana from the center. So MSP has not been given, but at least Makhana board has been, his demand has been met. So this is something also that is a positive signal provided by the central government. Announcements are a direct signal also to a politically significant community of Mallah in the state. Mallah, also called as, also are generally referred as fishermen and boatmen, because these are the large activities where they are involved in. So they are among the most impoverished community in the state. Now, how Makhana board is targeting them? Because it is the Mallah community who are largely responsible for the production of Makhana, who are largely involved in the harvesting of the Makhana flower and Makhana seeds. So by doing so, it is trying to also basically can say get the vote from this community. Overall, if you talk about the northern Bihar, where the Makhana is largely produced, this Mallah community have a population of 2.5% in the overall Bihar. But overall, if you talk about the riverine tract where Makhana is produced, there they have a significant vote share of 6%. And also, they impact the other lower caste as well in the state of Bihar, because it has been generally seen that whoever party Mallah votes toward, the other castes of that area also vote to the same party. So not only 6% overall, it is believed that 10 to 12% of vote is something that government, state government of Nitish Kumar can take if they are able to portray Makhana board as something that is a significant result, a significant achievement for the Mallah community. So as we can see, the decision to create a Makhana board is driven both by the economic factor as well as the political factor. But what kind of result it actually achieves, we still have to wait and see in the near future. But that is all for this particular video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more useful content. Thank you very much.